Just sip of water. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? You should be able to, but let me know if there's any problems in the stream with the media sources. But how is everybody? You ready for today's stream? We're going to be talking about lots of theories, and we've only got 1 hour to solve as many theories as we possibly can. So I hope you're ready for it. You've got plenty of questions because we've got so much to go through. The law, for example, why the Indominus killed his sibling, the new Jurassic Park Survival game, how the freezer was even open. We've got so much to cover, so I hope you're ready for today's stream. So with that out of the way, I'd just like to say a quick announcement. Let me just double check the chat to make sure everyone can hear me. Seems to be fine. No one said anything in there, which is great. So I'd just like to say we reached 100,000 subscribers today. So thank you very much for subscribing. And I'd like to thank everybody who's been with us on the journey. Thank you very much for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now. Especially if you love Jurassic Park. And I'm pretty sure you do, because that's why you're here today, to talk about Jurassic Park. So let's kick off then. Let's see what we got in the chat. We've got Shafar, Kiwi, Infinite, Teleporter, Harsh, Malatra, Jurassic Theory, Mason. We've got lots in there. Nicky Jr., the creator. There's plenty of people in the chat. So hello, everybody. Sprite Side, Untamable King. There's plenty of you in there. So hello, everybody. And I hope you're ready for today. So why did then the Indominus Rex actually kill his sibling? So we're going to go over some basic theories. Like I said, we're going to try and cover as many as we can in the hour. Talk about theories you might know. Some of them you won't know at all. Some of them will be canon. Some of them may not be canon, but we'll talk about them on the stream as well. Hello, Cameron. How's everybody in the chat there? People are hyped, they're saying. Good to see you hyped. Right, so first things first then. Why the Indominus Rex killed his sibling? So you've probably already seen my videos. We got some videos playing in the background as well. We got a lovely control room set up. But the reason why, in my eyes, the Indominus Rex would have killed his sibling is they were obviously brought up in captivity. And a lot of people believe that the Indominus Rex killed his sibling straight after birth, because that's the impression that the Jurassic World movie gave us in 2015. Because you see them both hatch out of the eggs together, confirming that it's a sibling. And that's it. That's really all you ever see of it. And the next reference in the movie is Claire saying, yeah, she ate it. Because obviously Simon Masrani asks, where is the sibling? And she goes, oh, she ate it. And that's all the context we have for why the Indominus Rex killed a sibling. But if you look a bit deeper, look into the websites, the DPG website, everything else in between, some of the lore, there's actual books as well. So Claire has her own book. The lore between the lore between the hybrids being made. It actually says that she killed it sometime after hatching. So it wasn't directly after she had hatched. She killed it in the paddock together, because they had their own paddocks. Well, not their own paddocks. They were put in the same paddock together, believe it or not. And that's potentially when she would have killed her sibling. As to the reasons why, let's just have a quick check of the chat. Who we got? What's up, everybody? Hello. There's lots of people in the chat there. Your theories are great. Good. Kiwis, I can see loads of good names in the chat there. I don't know how many people we've got in the chat, because all I can see on my screen at the moment is just like the videos playing in the background. That's all I can really see. But as to reasons why she would have killed her sibling then, what do you guys think? You know, because it is speculation at the end of the day. We haven't got a clear indication. Oh, Celate says there's 50 people in the chat. That's good. Yeah, so what do you guys think? Why she would have killed her sibling? Let me just have a drink of water. The best theories I've ever heard are on this channel. Thank you for that. Thank you for that, Harsh. That's exactly what we like. I watch all your videos, says Devilish. Nice, good, I'm glad. So, yeah, I think the reason she would have killed it is obviously, we do know they were brought up together, so I don't think it'd be like a social pack type of thing for dominance, because they was brought up together, although they didn't really have a leader, so they could quite easily fight. Like you see the raptors in Jurassic Park, in the original Jurassic Park, they do fight, but there was a hierarchy, there was a pecking order, so to speak, so they wouldn't have attacked and killed each other, because their hierarchy, their parent, for example, would keep them in check. Whereas there was no parent with the Indominus Rexes. They were kind of brought up together. Mental instability, Rob says, but they're isolation and a mix of genes. I totally agree, Rob. And in a manner of speaking, they probably would have just fought. The enclosure was nowhere near big enough for one Indominus Rex, let alone two. So the fact of the matter is, they probably would have just fought each other, and she would have killed it there and then ate it. And then that just made more isolation for the Indominus Rex, which unfolded in Jurassic World. So we've kind of solved that one. Another good one people love to talk about is obviously the Spinosaurus. Everyone loves the Spinosaurus. My thumbnail is the Spinosaurus, although it is a very controversial one because obviously we know in Jurassic Park 3 we have that controversial T-Rex versus Spinosaurus, and the Spinosaurus absolutely decimates the Tyrannosaurus Rex. A lot of people obviously believe that Tyrannosaurus Rex to be junior, which it isn't, by the way. It's not junior. It's a completely different Rex called the Bull Rex. And the Spinosaurus absolutely demolishes it. But a lot of people ask the question, would it do that with our legendary hero, Rexy? Would the Spinosaurus kill Rexy, do you think? How would it pan out? Has the Spinosaurus had any other fights since Jurassic Park 3? Well, we know it has. It went up against two T-Rexes there, Big E.T. and Little E.T. from Camp Cretaceous in Season 4 and Season 5, which were taken off Isla Sorna, and it kind of won/lost. It was kind of like a draw in Camp Cretaceous. So I'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts in the chat right now. Do you think that if there was to be a full-on rematch with the Spinosaurus versus the legendary T-Rex, Rexy, who do you think would win? I'm just going to put a little poll up in the chat. Let's see if I can do it. Let's put a little poll up, right? Let's weigh in. Let's weigh in. Who would win? All right? In a rematch. It's going to come up in the chat now, guys, so get ready for this. Get ready. It's going to come up. Rexy or the Spino? It's going in. Rexy, Spino. Start the poll. So we'll have a minute of the poll and see what you guys think. Spino is one of the mysterious dinosaurs of all time, says Harsh. The Crazy Goose. Can you shout me out? There we are. Hello, Crazy Goose. Skullcrawler. Spino. Gwen says Rexy, of course. Spino says Devilfish. Rexy is too old. Do you know what? I think Rexy is old, but I'll be interested to see how you guys feel about this, because Rexy is pushing it now, and we haven't specified at what point in time are they going to rematch. Will they rematch in 2023, 2024? Maybe we'll see who the T-Rex was in Chaos Theory. Do you know what I'd really like to see the Rexy be in Chaos Theory? Junior from the Lost World Jurassic Park. That would be great, wouldn't it? Rexy may be old, but she got experience. That's right. That is right. So let's have a look. We've got, so far, we've got 34 votes. Rexy seems to be winning at 65% of the votes. Spino's on 35%, so a lot of people seem to think that Rexy would definitely win, and we've only been going a minute, so the Untamable King. I don't think that Rexy would win by herself. She'd probably need some help. Congratulations for 100k. Yeah, 100k. Yeah, we hit 100k today. So anyone who's just joined us, we hit 100,000 subscribers today. Hence the reason why we're doing the stream, as a little celebration to engage with you guys and to just engage in general. So everyone who's subscribed, thank you very much. We hit 100k. Thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe right now. So I'll put another Jurassic Park video on in the background. Let's have a look what we got. Let's stick some of the screens on from Jurassic World as we go by there. Little Jurassic World screens. No, actually, let's keep with what we had. Yeah, let's keep with what we had. So, where's my chat? Where's my chat? I need to see my pop-out chat. Otherwise, I can't see what you guys are saying. There you go. Yeah, 100k, yeah! So, okay, yeah, I think, and the chat seems to think, that Rexy is a definite go-go there, again, if they versed each other. What horrors were in Paddock 10 then is another question and another thing I'd like to solve. Obviously, we've done a video on it. We've kind of covered what we think potentially could be in there, but there's lots of things. Beta Gamer missed my messages. What have you said? Chat is very fast, so the only clear way I can read your message is obviously by putting it in blocks as such, by just like Salatay did, if you remember. Mason has been subscribed for a long time as well. Good. Tarbosaurus, Giga. Tarbosaurus. Yeah, Tarbosaurus was an interesting one because I did cover that. And obviously Tarbosaurus was from Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure. So the thing with Camp Cretaceous Hidden Adventure is it's not really considered canon. So although Paddock 10 is there, we see the Tarbosaurus in Jurassic World because of Hidden Adventure, but it isn't actually canon. And spoilers, close your ears if you haven't played Hidden Adventure right now. The Tarbosaurus in one of the endings, believe it or not, actually dies. So it is an odd one, and I think it's not really considered canon. So we can't really say that the Tarbosaurus was in Jurassic World to place it in Paddock 10. But what we can say is that we know the Giga had to be made. They had Giganotosaurus DNA. People in the chat there saying Spino. A really good theory is the Spinosaurus that was in Paddock 10, because we know that from Isla Sorna, they would have taken most of the dinosaurs to be featured in Jurassic Park when they were building it in 2010. Or just before that, they would have taken a lot of the dinosaurs off of Isla Sorna and brought them to Jurassic World. Now, we do know that Manticorp took the Spinosaurus from Isla Sorna, but did they take it from Isla Sorna or did they take it from Isla Nublar after Jurassic World fell, which is an interesting one in itself. Spino is fast and agile. Spino is in Manticorp Island. Yeah, it is. Because Manticorp, they might not have had access to the island because the island was actually bought by Masrani Global in 1999. So Manticorp probably wouldn't have had access to the island before that point. So Masrani Global would have been on Isla Sorna in 1999, way before Manticorp probably was even a thing. So the chances are they would have come across the Spinosaurus in 2003 because it was still on the island then. Because remember, Jurassic Park 3 was in 2003. So the chances are the Spinosaurus was still there after that event, and Masrani Global owned the island. So they would have probably taken that away and probably have taken it to Jurassic World. And when Jurassic World fell, we also know that on the holoscope for Jurassic World, it shows Spinosaurus, Plesiosaurus, all kinds of dinosaurs. So the fact of the matter is, we could easily see a Spinosaurus in Jurassic World. And that's probably what Paddock 10 could have been, or could have been held for the other Indominus Rex sister. So obviously we had the white Indominus and potentially the black Indominus as well, which would have been potentially their paddock. Because let's not forget, their paddock was way, way out in the restricted section. So if they ever wanted that on display, they would have had to have moved it into the park. And what perfect place would have been Paddock 10, for example. You know, we know something would have gone in there. They would have had to have brought the Indominus Rex from the restricted section into the park, and they would have needed a paddock. Paddock 10 was potentially available. We know Paddock 9 was the T-Rex, because we see Clay open in Paddock 9 in Jurassic World. Paddock 10 is obviously we don't know. Paddock 11 was the experimental paddock, which the Indominuses were originally in. So Paddock 10 potentially could have been them. So war weapon, basically. Horrible hybrid, says Lazar. Spino based on lore is overall stronger, says the Bayonetta. The Beyonders, sorry. Python Manor shows would Blue win or Indominus Rex. Jurassic Park was in 2001. Yeah, Jurassic Park was in 2001, yeah. You can make a vid about I-Rex versus the V-Rex. Oh, yeah, the V-Rex is in, like, King Kong, isn't it? It's an interesting one. So 46 votes we've had on the Spino versus Rexy. And Rexy is winning at 67% of the votes. So a lot of people seem to think that Rexy would beat Spinosaurus. Beta Gamer. Paddock 10 was for Charchodontosaurus. Potentially, but I don't know if we have any any evidence for that, do we? Where we have some evidence for the Spino, some evidence for like the Giga, and let's not forget the Stegoceratops was in Jurassic World as well, because we actually see, or was being made in Jurassic World, because we see it on Henry Wu's computer, which is a really interesting one. Jurassic World zombie dinosaurs. That is Jurassic Park 4, believe it or not. And that's something I'd like to talk about as well, is the human hybrid dinosaur theory, which is a really interesting one, because a lot of people believe, because of the opposable thumbs of the Indominus Rex and the Indoraptor, they've got opposable thumbs, and only humans and I believe chimps have them thumbs. So if they do have the opposable thumbs, I think it is, that could only come from human DNA. And there was talk that the Indominus and the Indoraptor were spliced with human dinosaur DNA. So what do you think on that? Do you think, you know, there was, especially with Maisie, who was like been made / cloned, it is definitely in my, I think Scorpius as well. Yeah, the Scorpius is a really interesting one. Rob Daniels just pointed that out. I think that's a great point, because we know the Scorpius Rex was also in there, and they would have needed Paddock eventually for the Scorpius Rex. That's a really good point. Sprite Side, how you doing? Nice to see you in there. Skullcrawler, just taking a drink from my lovely Shadows water jug. Got my Jurassic Park Nedry's Jeep cord, and my Freddy, his eyes movie blink. There he is. Woo, hello Freddy. Because I also do a FNAF channel as well, if you don't know. Go and subscribe to my FNAF channel after this. Thoughts on the Ultimasaurus becoming canon, a military level unit? Well, I think I will be doing a video on the Ultimasaurus in the future, because it's a really interesting one, the Ultimasaurus. So I'd like to talk about that. This is a really interesting one as well, right? Is why didn't the Indominus Rex kill the Carnotaurus Toro when it meets in Jurassic World? Because we obviously know on screen now, you can see the Indominus Rex right there. She escapes her Paddock 11, and during her escape, she goes through a number of paddocks, and one paddock she comes into contact with in the restricted zone is a Carnotaurus paddock. And in that paddock, the Carnotaurus is there named Toro. She sees it, kind of like lets it out, and then leaves it. So I'd be interested to know your guys' thoughts as to why she left it there, why she didn't attack it, why didn't she kill it? Because she killed absolutely everything else she came into contact with. I mean, everything. So you could say, oh yeah, they communicated, but she communicated with raptors, didn't kill them. But even at the end, she still killed them when they communicated. You know what I mean? So she killed absolutely everything she came into contact with, even the ones she had relationships with, the raptors. So I'd be interested to know why she didn't kill Toro. What was the reasons for that? So what do people say there? So Lazar said they communicated. Yeah, they did, like we said. Sprite, I love how your logo is a T-Rex with a tongue in the shape of an S. That's very true, it is. What happened to the Atrociraptors? That's a good one. We'll talk about that later. She felt connections because of the Carno, also having a mental breakdown, being alone and frustrated. Do you think she, like, empathized with the Carnotaurus? You can see her there in the background. Like, there's her teeth. And then there's the... Oh, that's just the park going into complete chaos in the background there. They got into complete chaos. What do you think would win the fight? Yeah, we talked about that. She didn't see Toro as a threat, but knew it could cause a distraction. You know, I did do a video on it, but I want to try and do as many theories as I can in one video on this video. I think it's absolutely right. I think she's seen Toro. Bear in mind, she was killing everything. So whether she saw it as a threat or not doesn't matter. She was going around killing things regardless whether they were a threat or not. She just wanted a hunt. But she saw Toro, and she didn't have that urge to hunt Toro for whatever reason. So the only reason I can think of that she didn't hunt it, based on what she'd done before, was A, they did have some level of communication, or B, she kind of thought up that if she let other dinosaurs out, would cause more mayhem and more of a distraction. Because let's not forget, she is extremely intelligent. She fooled human beings into believing that she'd escaped the paddock. This isn't a normal animal. This isn't a normal dinosaur we're talking about. This is a genetically modified super killer animal. So I think that she definitely was using Toro as some type of scapegoat. And that's the theory on that. You know, everything we've covered so far, we've done a lot of individual videos for, but I want to try and do as many theories, lore, discussions as we can in this single video, because we're going to make it as best we can. Jurassic Park Survival is obviously coming out, which is a really, really interesting one. I recently did a video on that. Let me just, before I go into Jurassic Park Survival and what could have been in the freezer. Well, we know what's in the freezer, the raptor, but how did the raptor get out of the freezer? Before I discuss that, I'm just going to quickly have a look at the chat and see what you guys were saying. Where is Big E.T., someone said? We can talk about that later, that's great. What happened to the pteranodons in Jurassic World Dominion? So obviously, at the end of Dominion, we now know that all the pteranodons, well, all dinosaurs and all animals, in fact, are now living in the world. What else? What happened to the pteranodons? Where's Big E.T.? We just said that. Wait, the Indominus has a Carno. No, the Indominus met the Carno. Laser says she got Toro to kill people in the park. Well, we know Toro obviously chased the campers around for like a full season and a half. She wanted to recruit Toro into a prestigious army of psycho killers, says Beat. That's an interesting one. Devilfish, I learned from your videos. Good. I'm glad you do, because there's some good lore out there on Jurassic Park, and there are some people who cover it, but if I'm honest, the last time I really watched a Jurassic Park video was probably from Clayton, and I really enjoyed his videos because I think he put a lot of effort into his theory, a lot of evidence in there, and a lot of his editing style was great. I really enjoyed that. But there's a lot of other Jurassic Park YouTubers out there who I think are quite lazy with their editing and just talk over basically the video I've got in the background. Bearing in mind this is live, so a lot of other Jurassic Park YouTubers are just lazy with it, and I don't like that. So yeah, I used to enjoy watching Clayton quite a bit, to be honest. I can't believe the Indoraptor is one of the smartest dinosaurs. Yeah, Pyroraptor says, can you talk about me? Well, the Pyroraptor is an interesting one, isn't it? What about the Quetzalcoatlus, someone says. So we've kind of dipped into the chat now. We're going to dip out of we're going to come back to what we were talking about, which is Jurassic Park Survival, which obviously you've seen the trailers. I've done a video on it. And we know from there they're introducing a new character. It seems likely to me that it is going to be canon because it seems so close to the original source material. For it not to be canon, so I think we're going to get a canon game. It seems like this is going to be a canon game to me. The only thing I'm really confused on is there's two things from Jurassic Park Survival. Am I a fan of Sprite? Yeah. There's two things which confuse me. One, the pillar. Now, some people have said, oh, well, we see a pillar in Jurassic Park Survival, and it's got a massive claw mark as if something has hit the pillar and took a huge chunk of it out of this pillar. Now, we've done a bit of a theory video on it and said, look, it can't be the raptors because the raptors haven't got that level of claw. The claws, for one, are too small on a velociraptor to make the claw marks we see on the pillar. And two, it's going to need some force to rip out solid concrete like it did. Secondly, it couldn't have been the Rex because the Rex has only got tiny little arms with two claws on. And people said, well, they could have used the Tyrannosaurus Rex's foot. And the Tyrannosaurus Rex's foot could have hit the pillar. Again, that couldn't have been the case because the angle of attack on the pillar is basically horizontal. Rex's foot wouldn't have been able to get that level of attack on the pillar sideways to make that mark. Another person has said on the video and said, I'm sure the pillars have that level of design on them. Now, I went back and checked. The pillars in the visitor center, as soon as they go in, do not have that design in them. Although the pillars in the restaurant do have some markings. But that pillar was from the visitor center because of the color. It was like a marble gray. So it then leads me to believe what actually made their markings on that pillar. Because we already know of basically all the dinosaurs in the game. So if they don't introduce any new ones, it'll be pretty boring because there's no element of surprise, no element of, oh wow, this is new, that's new. So I think they'll have to put a new dinosaur in there. Someone said, are chickens related to dinosaurs? You sound like the turkey boy now in Jurassic Park, which is a really interesting theory in itself. Oh, my chat has just gone. What if it's the Scorpius? No, this is the original Jurassic Park in 1993, so I don't know if it would be the Scorpius. There. Cryolophosaurus. If I'm pronouncing that right. It's possible. I don't know. I think it's something we haven't seen yet. Like, we discussed that there was, like, Metracanthosaurus is obviously in Jurassic Park. Could potentially be a fully grown Dilophosaurus. That's another thing. Let me see if I can move that out of the way of my face so you guys can see my face a bit more. Yeah, I don't think Wu was making any hybrids back then. He was pretty young in Jurassic Park. Yeah, he was... Yeah, Karsha... I can't even pronounce it properly. So... Do you like geese? Maybe. Yeah, I think it's either going to be the Metracanthosaurus because we've seen the embryo. Well, it's coming up. Jurassic Park is in the background. If we look at the embryo refrigeration unit, you'll be able to see like a lot of the dinosaurs which they had planned to be made for Jurassic Park. And Metracanthosaurus was definitely one of them. And we know they were creating paddocks for it. There was also it was another 2 other dinosaurs. So I think we're going to see a new dinosaur, I hope. Yeah, Metracanthosaurus Infinite. Yeah, that's it. I think we're going to see some new dinosaurs in there. And another question, which is asked on the video, and something I want to talk about in a video in the next couple of days, is the freezer. Because we know Tim and Lex obviously go into the kitchen. They have the velociraptor scene, and they lock a velociraptor in the freezer, right? And the lock they use is like a proper like key and latch lock where they jam the key into the lock. So that isn't coming out. You know, it seems like if something hits that, I don't think it's going to be able to come out. So even if Velociraptor's banging the door to get out of the freezer, I don't think it's going to be able to release the like little latch from that freezer. So what I'd like to know is how the Velociraptor got out of the freezer. How somehow that lock has been opened. The door has been opened. Because at the end of the trailer, the door is open. Now, the only way I see that freezer being open is, one, someone or something has destroyed or unlatched that lock. Now, you could argue and say that the Dilophosaurus, when chasing our new protagonist through the kitchen, could have hit into the kitchen door. Because people were saying, oh, the Dilophosaurus could have hit into the freezer door, broken the lock, and hence the Velociraptor can then come out. Now, that isn't the case because she stands in front of the freezer door, and then you see her run off, and the freezer door at that point opens. So the Dilophosaurus hasn't been anywhere near that door. The Dilophosaurus is clearly still chasing her at that stage. So I don't think the Dilophosaurus was the case. I think potentially someone, because we know we've got already one brand new character in Jurassic Park, this new doctor. So we've got one brand new person in Jurassic Park. Who's to say they're not going to introduce another human being in that game? Because they'd have to have other human interactions. Otherwise, you just have one single human on the entire island interacting with dinosaurs? She'd have to have some type of dialogue with some type of person either on or off the island. So the chances are there could be other human beings on that island. Who's to say, when Dennis Nedry didn't turn up with the embryos, that they sent a team to go and get him? Just like in Jurassic Park, the game. Who's to say there isn't a group of mercenaries going there the day after to try and scoop and poach the embryos, what's left? It could easily happen. Do you think Lewis Dogson's just going to hand over, $350,000 to Dennis Nedry, who then doesn't turn up with the embryos? You think he's just going to forget about it? No way. He's probably going to send someone in the day after to either A, get his money back from Nedry, or B, recover the embryos. He's probably got a tracker or something in that can, right? But who knows? We're going off pace anyway. Where was Carno during Jurassic Park? Well, in the restricted section, of course. We know where he was. I play the video games. In the book, there's a younger Tyrannosaurus. What if there's the Tyrannosaurus on the island, but we weren't told there was another Rex on the island? That's a good point. They could easily reintroduce the juvenile Rex, isn't it? Yeah, they had the juvenile Rex in the novels. And, yeah, I think the juvenile Rex actually kills the guard, the guy who's showing him round in the novel, doesn't he? Merry Christmas, says Crazy Goose. Yeah, Merry Christmas to everyone in the chat as well. And thanks for subscribing. I'm just going to quickly say it again because we hit 100,000 subscribers today. So thank you very much. What if it's the Biocen mercenaries? Yeah, that's a good point, Nick. I think it could be the Biocen mercenaries. I think it's a great one. It would be cool to see Owen and Clay in the woods and see a Megalosaurus. Honestly, they released a Hammond collection figure of the Metracanthosaurus, and the Toys of Tease stuff actually showing up in the canon before. Yeah, I agree. I remember I used some of the toys in some previous videos where I was theorizing about what could be coming up in like Camp Cretaceous, what could be coming up in Dominion, and there was obviously a lot of leaks on the toys before the movie and Camp Cretaceous came out, and it kind of showed us what was to come. Although it's not always right, it kind of has like a loose idea of what's going on. So, we have covered like 5 theories so far, which I think is great going in 30 minutes. So we're absolutely smashing the theory rate, which is fantastic. Another question I'd like to ask and talk about theory-wise is, give me 1 second, because I want to know you guys' thoughts on this, which would be interesting. Now, again, I do talk about these in videos. So if you've watched the videos, you've kind of got an idea of what happened, but it doesn't give us a definitive answer, and it's not in one big video. So one thing I'd like to ask is, Jurassic Park 3. Everyone's favourite Jurassic Park movie. I know that. Everyone loves Jurassic Park 3. It is their favourite of all time. We know. We see the T-Rex kill the... we see the Spinosaurus kill the T-Rex. We know that. We're not going to talk about that. But what I want to talk about is, when we first see the Spinosaurus, we see it running and chasing Cooper, the legendary Cooper, who's got an injury on his arm. Now, again, like I said, I've talked about this, but I'd like to know your thoughts. Now, Cooper's holding his arm as if the Spinosaurus has attacked him. Now, if the Spinosaurus did attack Cooper, he wouldn't have an arm left. There's no way, if the Spinosaurus got within that distance, within striking distance, he wouldn't be running towards the airfield. It's impossible. So, one of the things I said in my video is the Spinosaurus didn't attack Cooper. End of story. End of discussion. So what did? Now, there was obviously talk of a baby Spinosaurus in the original Jurassic Park 3 script. There was an interview with one of the script writers. They actually had the baby Spinosaurus in. They were going to put it in there. It made sense for the entire movie, but they cut it out. They cut that out. So, does that mean it wasn't baby Spinosauruses anymore? Because they're not canon? So, if it wasn't baby Spinosauruses, what did attack Cooper then? You know, what attacked his arm? So, I'd like to know your guys' thoughts in the chat right now, because I'm going to read some of your responses and see what you guys think. So, what do you think? Let's have a look. What we got? I've seen the video. They said the baby Spinosaurus got cut. Yeah. Baby Spinosaurus, are people saying. Baby Spinosaurus says Devilfish. I agree. Skull Scroller says Baby Spino. You know, I love the idea that a baby Spino was there. I think it makes the most sense. But they just didn't put it in the movie. So if that's the case, is it something we know, okay, in our heads we know it was there, so that attacked Cooper's arm? Or is it going to be something which we know was in the movie, which... it could only be what we've seen, which would be velociraptors, the Spino, which just doesn't make any sense, a ceratosaurus, which we've seen as well, pteranodons. That's basically it, carnivore-wise, isn't it, for Jurassic Park 3? So, yeah, nothing else. Ultimate Candy, I agree. Nothing else makes much sense. I agree. The only thing which makes sense is the cat baby Spinosaurus, and I think that is what we will stick with for our definitive answer. Although we don't see it on the big screen, so we don't see the baby Spinosaurus on the big screen, it's the only logical explanation as to what happened to Cooper's arm. End of story. Spinosaurus and Tyrannosaurus would equal an amazing hybrid. Now, that would be an absolute killing machine, wouldn't it? You know, well, think of the Indominus Rex. They use T-Rex DNA, giganotosaurus DNA, Carnotaurus DNA. They use so many different types of DNA in the Indominus Rex. Look how that turned out. Same with the Indoraptor. So there's a lot of things there. Celatay, Indominus had so much in her. Yeah, she did. Indominus was... I like the Indominus as well. I just think it was a sad story with the Indominus. She was mistreated, misunderstood, and then all of a sudden killed. See you later, Devilfish. Have a good one. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it. So what other things can we talk about? Because there's so much I want to cover off. Like Henry Wu's brother, Elliot Wu. You know, not many people realize that Dr. Wu actually had a brother. You know, why didn't the T-Rex kill the Velociraptor Blue in Jurassic World? That's another thing we can talk about. Why? Well, the real reason the Spinosaurus attacked and stalked the humans everywhere in Jurassic Park 3. Well, we've kind of covered the reason why. Because now we know that it had a baby. It was really, really, let's face it, pissed off that these mercenaries hired by Eric Kirby had gone into the nest, destroyed the nest, and, you know, killed its babies. It's going to be on an absolute warpath. And it is going to chase these humans all over the island. So we know why the Spinosaurus followed the humans everywhere. Wu had a brother? Yeah, he did. A brother called Elliot Wu. Believe it or not. Elliot is a mysterious concept. Yeah, it is. Elliot Wu was in the novel, believe it or not. Well, it was meant to be in the novel, but they cut it out for some reason. Because he was supposed to be the one who saves Dr. Malcolm and the team from the velociraptors. And he was the one then who, like, oversees Isla Sorna as the caretaker for the animals. Very much like Dr. Wu, but a frailer version. A lot older, a lot frailer. And yeah, he was Dr. Wu's brother, who also worked for InGen. Which, do you know what? Would be fantastic to bring Dr. Wu's brother back in the future. They could have an entire great storyline with that. You know, just even in Jurassic Park Survival, for example. You imagine Dr. Wu's brother is in there. They make him canon. They could have so much story with that. They could build into so much stuff. It'd be fantastic. So yeah, Wu did have a brother. Henry Wu in Dominion actually looked a lot like how Elliot is meant to be. It did indeed. Did indeed, eh? Yeah, so a lot of people didn't even know they had a brother. Did you actually know as well that there was a real abandoned Jurassic Park? A real abandoned Jurassic Park in Universal Studios, Florida. There was an entire section which was abandoned up until like 2018, I believe. And it had everything from Jurassic Park. They had like rides in there, a walkthrough, and it was completely abandoned, overgrown. And it was very much like the original Jurassic Park. Well, in Jurassic World, you see the original park and it's all decrepit, overgrown, and it was very much like that in Universal, a real-life version. I did a video on that as well, so I highly recommend checking that out if you guys are interested. Another great mystery as well, which is something a lot of people really enjoyed and it resonated with, was obviously Ben Hilderbrand in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park 3. We love Jurassic Park 3. We're going to keep talking about it. We love Jurassic Park 3. Obviously, you have Ben Kirby flying with his little parasailing companion. And they drift into the island. And all of a sudden, we have them trapped in a tree. You see Eric and Ben. Eric falls to the floor. And that's the last we really see of Ben. Later on, you see Dr. Alan Grant, the Kirbys, and the one mercenary find his body in the tree, completely picked of bones, completely picked of everything. No, not bones, completely picked of flesh, sorry. And people want to know how Ben Hilderbrand actually died. So, what I'd like to ask you guys is, what do you think actually killed Ben Hilderbrand? Because there's a big debate. How did Ben survive? Not Ben, yeah, not Ben. Ben Hilderbrand is the guy who was like Eric Kirby's stepfather, innit? So Ben is the guy who was not piloting, what do they call it? Controlling the paraglider, is it? Controlling the paraglider? and gliding them towards the Jurassic Park 3 Isla Sorna Island, because if you remember, they're obviously on the boat, dinosaur boat, where they're paragliding. The boat mysteriously the guys on the boat, that's it, hand gliders. That's it, Ultimate Candy, like a hand glider, parasailer type of thing. They drift to the island. Eric Kirby falls to the floor because they get caught in the trees. They paraglide to the island, get caught in the trees. He releases Eric, and Ben then says, yep, I'm going to come down in a minute. Leave me here. The next time you see him, he's dead. He's basically dead, and he's got his skull, well, it's not even his skull, it's his entire body picked completely clean of flesh, completely clean of everything in between, and it doesn't really give us an explanation as to what, who, how it even came to be. So, what do you think actually killed him then? Maybe Spino was just being territorial and hated humans remember it from harsh experiments. Yeah, from before. But what I want to know is now, what do you think actually killed Ben Hilderbrand in Jurassic Park 3? I'm going to dip into what you guys think in the comments. So I want to see what you guys think. I personally think, Untable King says, Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodons probably killed Ben. If it was the raptors, Ben's body would have been on the ground instead of a tree. I agree. So if the raptors did get a hold of him somehow, they would have pulled his body completely down, or they grabbed his legs, because we do actually see that he's missing some legs. Well, missing both his legs. They're completely gone. So if the raptors did like try and jump up at him, like we do see them do that. There's the scene there. The Jurassic Park 3 scenes right there, where they glide in towards the island. There it is. There it is, look. Yeah, they would just glide in towards there. So yeah, we do see that he's missing his legs in Jurassic Park 3. So it is possible that the raptors could have jumped up, grabbed his legs, and in doing so, they tried to pull him down. And when, obviously, because he's on like some type of elastic, they'll pull and then he'll flick back up into the trees. Because we do actually see him go further up into the tree as opposed to where he initially landed. So that makes sense. But then that wouldn't explain how he's missing like all of his flesh. So Salate says, I think they picked him up, dropped him in a tree, and perhaps Compy picked him clean. His legs may have fell just to no muscle keeping him together. Yeah, that's another thing as well. In an arid, in a humid environment such as that, and him being there for several weeks, his legs would literally drop off. You know, there'd be no muscle, there'd be nothing holding him together. His legs would literally drop off. Beta Gamer, do you know Jurassic Park 3 was set in the same universe as Jaws because of the same director? I don't know about that. The raptors were seen not far from his body. That's true, Ultimate Candy, yeah. They were. I wonder if a big and little E.T. are related to Rexy. Well, kind of they're all related, and I suppose, because they all come from like the same genome which they made. So, kind of. The Pteranodons were stuck then, though. Yeah, a lot of people believe, right, believe it or not, so a lot of people believe that the Pteranodons were stuck and were never released in Jurassic Park 3, but there was always Pteranodons on Isla Sorna, because we see them in the Lost World Jurassic Park. They're literally at the end of the movie on a tree. They're different variants of the Jurassic Park 3 Pteranodons, but there are Pteranodons on Isla Sorna before they get released in the aviary. There's already Pteranodons there. So whether they get released or not in Jurassic Park 3, there was already Pteranodons on the island. He could have died from natural causes, then raptors caught him. So like, a lot of people said that the force he comes down into the trees with, such as smashing into the trees, etc., would probably give him like internal injuries. And there's a snippet in one of the comics, because there's a comic of Jurassic Park 3 where it shows you like Eric Kirby's adventures or something, surviving on the island. And what you actually see is the kid is talking to Ben before he dies, and it kind of gives you like an indication that Ben is in a lot of pain and suffering from some type of injury. And he kind of says to the kid, look kid, I'm fine, you go on, I'll catch up with you in a sec. And he closes his like eyes and lets out a breath, and it kind of like insinuates that he's dead, because then the internal monologue of the kid says, I know he was like trying to help me, but I knew he was gone when he shut his eyes, or something along them lines. If you watch the video, I explain it in the video. But realistically, what did kill him then was his internal injuries. His internal injuries killed him, and then potentially scavengers came along and picked his body clean afterwards. What is my better flavour of Sprite? Cranberry or lemonade? Cranberry, go on, let's say cranberry. Compies are good climbers though, so I bet they could get up there and eat his remains. Oh, definitely, yeah. His remains are definitely eaten by something, wouldn't they? And it has to be some form of scavenger, so it's definitely one of the scavengers. What else can... well, we've got a lot of things to talk about, actually. Another one, believe it or not. Let's have a look. Believe it or not. We've got Isla Sorna, another one. Oh, this is an absolute classic. An absolute classic here, which I want to talk about. And a lot of people completely overlook this. Completely overlook it. We have the Indoraptor. Now, Indoraptor is obviously a mixed bag. Some people liked it. Some people absolutely hated it. Personally, Fallen Kingdom, the movie, I think is the weakest Jurassic Park movie out there. I'm not a big fan of Fallen Kingdom. But I do like, on screen now, the Indoraptor. I think it's a great... well, I suppose, antagonist / dinosaur. But the issue I have is, obviously, they do make it very human, with some of the emotions, etc., etc. It obviously gets killed, so it's a one and done. It gets killed at the end, and that's all you really see of it. But something which is massively overlooked is, where did the body go? Do they just totally forget that they've killed a massive hybrid which everybody wanted, everyone is bidding for in that bidding scene? They completely won this new dinosaur, this prototype, everyone wants it, and then when it's dead, you know, the body is literally just lying there, nothing happens. So no one's gonna go and get it? You're telling me that it's just left to rot? That doesn't seem right to me. I think that whatever happened to the body, it could be a case of someone could have picked that body up, someone who wanted it. You know, you had all shady types, for example, in the bidding scene. There was so many people who wanted that body. They're not just going to leave it there. So as soon as they find out there is a body there, or they know that the Indoraptor escaped, etc., etc., someone is going to want to come and collect it. You have InGen in the background there. They might want to redeem themselves. You have, Manticorp, Biosyn, for example. You telling me Biosyn wouldn't have found out that there was a genetically modified super killer weapon there, which they can monopolize and make money from? They would have found out, and they would have took that body. And if they did take the body, what would they do with it? Potentially clone another one. Someone says in the chat there, bear in mind, guys, I am dipping in and out the chat, so I can't read everybody's response because I'm trying to conduct the live stream as well. So if I do miss a message, I do apologize, but it's impossible for me to read everyone. But someone here said that the chances are we could see it in Chaos Theory, which is great because we do have Camp Cretaceous Chaos Theory coming up, and I did a video on that, 12 months ago, basically summarizing what the script would be, believe it or not. And yet, we do know it's going to be set during the events of 2018, which is Fallen Kingdom. Chances are it will revolve around that body, because how can you have Fallen Kingdom and not have the Indoraptor even feature in it? So chances are we're going to know the dinosaurs are going to be out in the wild. We know it's between 2018 and 2022 in Dominion. So what I would like to see from Chaos Theory is definitely where that Indoraptor body went. So whether they disposed of it, or whether it's gone to some other shady corporation and they've used it. Because let's not forget, before Camp Cretaceous, people were like, oh, they can't put any new dinosaurs in, they can't put any new hybrids in, it's not going to work. But they brought the Scorpius Rex in, and that was the best season. Season 3 of Camp Cretaceous was fantastic. Bringing in the Scorpius Rex was the right thing to do. But a lot of people were like, oh, they're not going to introduce new dinosaurs. Come on, don't be silly. Well, this is Jurassic World and Jurassic Park. They can do whatever they want. And they did. That shock, the door handle. Yeah, the door, yeah. I agree. I doubt that will be in its ultimate candy. I'd like to think, though, I'd like to see what actually happens. We know the season is set during Fallen Kingdom 2018. So why would they not feature it? You know what I mean? Harrison Andrews, welcome to the stream. Do you reckon there'll be another season of Camp Cretaceous? Well, we know... Or do you reckon there'll be another season of Camp Cretaceous? We know there is. Camp Cretaceous Chaos Theory. It's basically a continuation. It's not a new season. It's a continuation. Tech 7 of being, why Spinosaurus never swim out to the island expanding its territory. We try and stay on point, gamer. So, you're talking about something we've talked about before. So let's try and keep it on topic. So I'll answer it, but try and keep it relevant to what we're talking about. Because otherwise we'll just go off on tangents about random things and there'll be no structure to the stream. And yes, Sprite, I did say my favourite flavour was cranberry, so just go back, he said it kind of fast. Yeah, so yeah, I think Camp Cretaceous Chaos Theory will feature what happened potentially in the aftermath of the Indoraptor, because I would love to know what actually happened to that body, what actually became of the Indoraptor. Another one, which is a really interesting one, is the fact... A lot of people didn't realise there was a 5th member of the Raptor pack in Jurassic World. Because obviously we all know Beta, Charlie... not Beta, sorry. We obviously know Blue, Charlie, Delta and Echo. But there was actually a 5th member of the Raptor pack, believe it or not. And 1 second. I will talk about that in a minute. Which is someone called... a dinosaur called Gamma, believe it or not. And she was part of the project before they'd made the other raptors. So before they made Blue, etc., etc., they made another raptor, which was called Gamma. Well, I nicknamed her Gamma anyway. But she was made before all the other raptors. She was in the same type of project, and they were trying to train her, but she was so aggressive that they had to basically... put her down like they would an animal. Put her down. But this is Jurassic Park InGen. Do you think they're going to waste all this money and just leave, I suppose, just kill off millions and millions of pounds worth of assets? No chance. It wouldn't happen. You even hear Simon Masrani himself say in the film, oh, we can't kill her because we have millions of dollars invested in that asset. They wouldn't have just killed Gamma the raptor. They would have done something with her. So yeah, she might have been so aggressive, unable to be controlled, but they wouldn't have just killed her off. So one thing I'd like to know is what actually happened with her, because I don't believe they put her down, euthanized her, or however you say it. I don't think they literally killed her off. So I think that's another thing which can be brought up in the future as well. We also know there's other raptors because of Camp Cretaceous. Camp Cretaceous shows us so many different raptor species on Manticore Island. So let me just dip into the chat, see what people are saying. Oh, thanks for the great content, says Sir Lancelot. You're very much welcome. Thank you for watching. Double Gent, how you doing? Nice to see you. They were going to kill the Scorpius Rex, says Ultimate Candy. Yeah, but I loved the Scorpius Rex. I thought it was great. Gamma was based on the big one, Uncontrollable. Might be basis of mad nature of Atrociraptors. Yeah, Gamma was kind of based on the big one. You're right there. Maybe InGen stole her. Well, InGen obviously... in 2015 was a part of Masrani Global. So, yeah, InGen was already a part of Masrani. So they wouldn't have stolen it because of technically their own creation, I suppose. Maybe Blue was searching for Gamma in Camp Cretaceous Season 2. That's an interesting theory because, again, we know this chaos theory's coming up. We're going to see probably other dinosaurs, other bits and pieces. The Crazy Goose, love your content. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Scorpius was a failed project, says Stella Tate. He was meant to be destroyed because he was a failure. He wouldn't make the money as he couldn't be displayed, etc. Eustace sadly. So that's interesting, yeah. He was meant to be destroyed, right? But it just goes to show they didn't kill him. They didn't even destroy him. They put him in storage. And they froze him. So although he was no use to them whatsoever, they still kept him around. So you're telling me they're just going to get rid of, like, an unusable raptor? Not going to happen. They're going to have done the same thing, probably. So it'd be nice to see them do something in the future. Is it likely? Probably not. Is it something I would want? Yeah. But is it likely? We don't know. We don't know. Right. Oh, let me just take another drink and have a read of what everyone else is saying. I think Wu selfishly kept him around for further research to learn from mistakes. Yeah, that's true. That's very right. Scorpius was abandoned by Dr. Wu since he was not like the refined and was too aggressive. Yeah, he was a bit unstable, innit, you know. His mind was fragmented and all over the place, isn't it? If the raptors were echo communicating, that wasn't Gamma listening too, feeling bad for her. Yeah, I feel sorry for her, but it is what it is, isn't it? Let's hope they do bring it back in the future. Another question is, what really happened to Junior, the T-Rex? So obviously we see the Tyrannosaurus family in the Lost World Jurassic Park. You have the buck, the doe, and Junior. You see Junior obviously getting taken by the Mercs, taken to the mainland, and where they obviously take the T-Rex as well. And then they have the Junior eventually gets rescued, reunited with his family at the end of the Lost World Jurassic Park on Sauna. You see the lovely family together, and that's the last you really see of Junior. Now, a lot of people believe that Junior was killed off somehow, because obviously we do see, like Sprite says in the chat there, we do see Buck and Doe at the end of Dominion, but you don't see Junior. So we know Buck and Doe is still alive, and we don't see Junior. Now, a lot of people believe that the Tyrannosaurus Rex in Jurassic Park 3 was Junior, which is incorrect. They used the same animatronic model. So they use the same animatronic model as the Rexes in the Lost World Jurassic Park, but it is not Junior. It was confirmed at Jurassic Party, I think, in like 2005, that it was the Bull Rex, which is not Junior. So Junior is still out there somewhere. So where do we think he is? Do you think Junior could crop back up in Chaos Theory in Camp Cretaceous? Because obviously we had Big E.T. and Little E.T. crop up in there. And if you notice, one of the E.T.s, I think it's Little E.T., believe it or not, actually has the same colorings as Junior. And one of the things I could have thought of is that could be, because obviously this is like 2015. Junior was a little babby in 1997, so nearly 20 years onwards. Could it be that Little E.T. in Camp Cretaceous is Junior's daughter? Could be. Has the same markings, same color scheme. Could quite easily be. Junior is no longer Junior in 2015. He's a full T-Rex, a fully grown T-Rex. So Little E.T. has the same colorings and could quite easily be Junior's offspring, you know? So it could be. I personally think Junior is dead, says Indominus Fire Edits. Junior, I think, is on the mainland, says Ultimate Candy. I think that'd be great to see Junior in Chaos Theory, because we do see a Tyrannosaurus there. I think that'd be great. Junior was killed off and put as bait to the growing Spino in Project Regenesis in 1999. Oh, that's a very specific one. I like that. That's good. Something's lagging out. I don't know if it's lagging. I may be lagging on YouTube. YouTube has sometimes a funny 5 minutes, but we seem to be okay on my end. So give it 5 minutes, because you know what YouTube is like. Yeah, I personally think he is still alive. Junior is still alive. Whether we see him in Chaos Theory, we know in 2015, it looks like Little E.T. is his daughter. So potentially he's still alive. Kian Faulkner, hi Shadows, it's me. Hi Kian, how you doing? How are you doing? Welcome. Good to see you in the stream. Go Spinosaurus. Yeah, we kind of had a little debate earlier on of who would win out of a rematch, like Spinosaurus or Rexy. So the actual Rexy versus the actual Spinosaurus. And believe it or not, the Rex won. I think it was like 65% of the votes. I think we had like 60, maybe 70 votes. And yeah, they said that Rexy was going to beat the Spinosaurus. So there we are. There we go. So anyway, we've kind of covered off like 10 theories in an hour. We've absolutely bossed theories. We've bossed some of the lore. We've solved some of them. One thing which is still left unsolved right now, which we haven't really solved, we've kind of talked about it. We've kind of said it earlier on, and that is the freezer aspect, where we see the freezer open in Jurassic Park Survival, where there's no real explanation at this point. So I'm going to have to do a proper a proper breakdown video on that, because there is no real explanation for why that freezer was open, how it was opened, how the latch even broke. It's so much things. We talked about it earlier, but we haven't fully solved that. So I'd like you guys to help me and leave me some comments. Leave me some comments on this video, leave me some comments on other videos, because I'm going to make a video in the next couple of days and I may feature your comments. So just before I clock off, because I wanted to do this stream mainly to theorize, cover as many theories as I can, talk about some stuff, and do a little celebration for 100k, because, you know, we've hit 100,000 subscribers, and what great way to celebrate than do a little live stream with you guys. So thank you very much for joining me and tuning in. Let me read the comments quickly before we sign off. Let's have a look what people are saying. Skullcrawler likes the raptor packs. Junior is alive, says Laser. Maybe Junior was killed off on a hunt for a stegosaurus on Sonar. Kian says he likes my hair. Thank you very much. I doubt the franchise has killed him off. I agree. I don't think the franchise will have killed him off. Ultimate. Celatay saying 100,000 subscribers. Yeah. Can we talk about what happened on Nublar after the events of Jurassic Park 1, please? Maybe for the next video. Congratulations on 100k. I only have 95 subs. Well, if you put the hard work in, I'm sure you'll get there as well. Fallen Kingdom is my favourite, says Paul. Fallen Kingdom is your favourite? Wow, that's an interesting one. I think my favourite is probably the original Jurassic Park. Yeah, I think out of them all, it's probably the original Jurassic Park. But it is what it is, isn't it? They did reset the security systems, says Beta. My internet sucks so bad. Nah, it may be YouTube as well. YouTube is pretty bad sometimes when streaming. Congratulations on 1k, says Nick J. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Congratulations on 100k, says Kai and the boys. He only has 10. Well, keep going, Kai. I'm sure you'll be doing a 100k stream soon as well. So thank you very much for that. What is Junior in Jurassic World, says Peyton? It's Dinosaur. They did reset the security systems. Maybe it unlocked the freezer as well. No, the freezer was a manual lock. You see Lex and Tim. Lex puts the lock actually in. It's a manual lock. So even the electricity wouldn't undo that. So even though they reset the security systems, good thought process, we do see him use a manual lock and key. So there's no way, you know, it would have been reset by electricity. You're growing so fast. We need to go faster. We need to get to 1 million now. You should do more streams. Yeah, I may do some streams in the future, you know. If people really enjoyed this one, then I may do. So if you really enjoyed it, let me know in the comments after this vid. Give it a like. And if it does well, I'll do more streams. But what do you guys think? Should I do some more streams? Hang on. Let's do something before we go, right? Watch this now. Watch this now. You ready? I'm doing something. Da-da-da. Something's coming up. Da-da-da-da. There we go. What's Q&A, look? I don't actually know how it works, but I clicked it. Should we do more streams? I don't actually know. Oh, it's questions. Oh, it shows questions on the side. I see. I've never seen that before. Oh, that's interesting. So you can like kind of like dip out to dip in. It's a normal freezer with manual systems. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have to go. See you later, Shadows, says the Crazy Goose. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I should do more streams, yeah. Maybe someone unlocked it. That's what I was thinking. Someone did unlock it, but who? I will watch your gameplay. Yeah, we're definitely going to be playing it. So we'll definitely be playing it 100%. We'll probably stream it. We'll probably do videos on it. We'll do lots. So anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Hope we've had a good time. We've had a good time. Celatay sat next to me looking and moderating the chat. She sat over there. Freddy's had a good time as well. So if you, oh, by the way, if you like Five Nights at Freddy's, head over to our Five Nights at Freddy theory channel, because we're approaching 10k on that over there. We do Five Nights at Freddy theories, so go over there. The links are like on the main page. Freddy says you should go over and definitely check out our FNAF channel. So get over there. Check out our FNAF channel. 100%. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Go and check out all my other videos. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.